We're at the end of December now up here in Maine, and most days I'm running the propane heater, but every now and then we get kind of a warmer day where I like to try to save some money and not run the propane. And what I'm preparing to do now is start using my wood gasifier stoves that I built, and that's what you're looking at in frame here. I've built 3 of these, and I'll show you how they work after I show you how I built it. So this can is actually upside down. This would have been the top of the can. You can see another can inside it. We'll get to that in a minute. This would have been the top of the can. This was a spinach can. Cut off the top, take out the spinach. You know the deal. The bottom of the can also has a hole in it, but you'll see it doesn't take up the full diameter of the can. So this was the flat bottom at one point, and so I cut a hole in it this size so that a can this size could fit inside it. And this can is the same type of can that's in here. So take the top off, cut a hole that's this size, and then after you're done working on this can, which I'll show you how to do that in a minute, you slide it in here, and you want to cut the hole such that it just barely fits, so that it's a pressure fit. And then after it is pressure fit in there, you go around the edge with some high heat furnace cement, warm it up in your hand, works like Play-Doh or putty, and you go around the edge and you seal it up really good. But first you have to prepare both cans. So this can, other than what I've already told you, is you also drill some holes all the way around the bottom to allow air to get into it once the stove is running. And the can that you put inside it is prepared the same way. You cut the top off. Well, it's not the same way. The top is the same. But at the bottom, obviously I've taken it to the shooting range and just very, very accurately from 100 yards away, put holes in it all the way around. Or I just used a nail and pounded it in there. And these holes are only, the ones around the side are only for the top few rows. They don't go down all the way. You only want to do them near the top. And that's how you build it. It's really simple. And now I will show you how to use it. So these things are pretty forgiving. The idea is just to get any type of dry biomass in there. You can use pieces of partially burnt wood from my last fire in the wood stove. You can use wood chips from projects you were working on. I save all this stuff. Collect dry sticks. Pine is fine, because as you'll see when it's burning, it burns very efficiently because the flame catches the gas. You can use pine, different size sticks. Neighbor turned me on to this idea last year for starting fires in the wood stove, pine cones. I tried them once in the gasifier. Don't really remember how well they worked. I know they worked. Now, normally what I do is I pack this thing pretty good, but for this video, to save time, I'm just going to get some stuff in there. And then we'll light it up, and you'll see how it burns. The whole idea behind this is it burns the gases coming off of the fire. So instead of all that going up as smoke, what would have gone up as smoke reignites. And there's very little smoke that comes off of this. And I can even run it with the wood stove doors open. And if I didn't mention before, the reason I'm doing this is because it's like almost 40 degrees today. Want to save some money on the propane, and there's no sense getting a blazing fire going. So these wood gasifiers, these small ones, are really good for when it's daytime temperatures like this. So let me finish getting this filled up, then we'll light her up. All right, I have it filled up a little bit, and I have some slightly contaminated diesel fuel and kerosene that I've been getting rid of slowly. That's how I've been starting it. So that's just the pine needles onto there it goes. All right, so it's not going to burn clean at first, of course, because the diesel has to burn off. Should take a minute, if that. Clean up my drips here. Yeah. Hopefully the camera. There we go. Yeah, so even right now, I barely have the flue open. And even now, you don't see any smoke coming off of it. Air will be drawn in from the bottom because the heat rising away will draw air into the bottom, and the air will come up around the sides of this can and then through the holes that we drilled and reignite. I can see the effect here. I really don't know if it's coming out on camera. So you can just start to see the smoke coming through the holes, and before it completely escapes, the existing flame is reigniting it. And sometimes it makes a really nice pattern when it's going really, really good. You kind of have to know what to look for, but you can see the flames coming out of the holes in the side. Right there is a good example on the right. You see that smoke coming out of the hole. It keeps getting reignited by the existing flame. And so instead of going up through the flue as smoke, it gets turned into heat for me. I hope I've explained that well enough. I know I went out of frame a couple times there. Sorry about that. I think it's showing up a little better now. Again, it's easier to see that one in the back or more on the right side. You see the gas escaping from the hole in the side and just reigniting. I think yeah, and you can see the one in the back there doing it too. It's hard to see the ones in the front because they're facing away from us. But you get the idea. Very little smoke. Obviously, I have the doors wide open right now. The flue is actually all the way closed down as far as it'll go, and nothing's coming in. Nothing's getting out of the stove. Thanks for watching, freedom lovers.